Good Monday afternoon. It is May 20th, 2024. I'm meteorologist Kyle Keel here at the TV6 Digital Desk with an update on your first alert forecast. It's roughly 2:15 if I didn't mention the time already, and we are tracking the potential for some severe weather here, especially as we head into the day on Tuesday. But you can certainly see now on our first alert live Doppler radar that we do have a couple of severe thunderstorms off to the east of the TV6 viewing area up toward the Chicagoland area. We've had a couple of those storms that have produced the potential of quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. I think that's going to be our higher risk of severe weather here as we head into today. But what we're really watching here heading into tomorrow is that higher risk of some severe weather. But as we widen the view, throw on the satellite, you can see we're starting to see some sunshine here in eastern Iowa and western Illinois. That's going to allow those temperatures likely to climb up in the low to mid 80s. It's also very muggy out there as well. So we certainly still could see a couple of thunderstorms that do develop here as we head into the evening, but all eyes are onto a developing low pressure system off to our west that is going to kind of eject out of the Rockies and provide us with that risk for severe weather heading into tomorrow. So as far as today goes, we're at a level 1 risk here in the Quad Cities. So that means that any storm that develops has the possibility to produce an isolated severe storm. We're talking marginal threat of hail up to the size of quarters, as well as maybe some 60-mile-per-hour winds. That threat is really looking low, and in fact, Eric is going over the latest data, and we might pull that first alert day for the rest of today. But certainly, the impacts are going to be greater heading into the day on Tuesday. Again, northeast of us, that's going to be the highest threat of severe weather here today. Heading into tomorrow, this has been an update here from what we saw around here earlier today. We're at a level 3 to level 4 risk of severe weather. So this is a level 4 out of 5, and this is damaging wind driven. So, typically when we talk about severe weather around these parts of the country, this part of the country, we're talking those winds up to 60 miles per hour. This is a situation where we could see winds 70 to 80 miles per hour across a good chunk of the TV6 viewing area. And this threat is going to be tied to the evening hours, but really we need to be on guard through the afternoon hours as well, because I think that's when we have a better threat of tornadoes, especially from the Quad Cities points to the northwest. So we'll break down each of those risks here as we head over the next few minutes or so. But just wanted to give you the update here this afternoon that we're now under a level 4 out of 5 risk. That's a moderate risk of severe weather from the Storm Prediction Center. And some of this could be some significant damage that does develop. So this is becoming a little more concerning here as we head into Tuesday. So that first alert day is going to continue Tuesday afternoon and evening. As we head later tonight into tomorrow, we may give a better window, but I think we'll have 2 windows here from 2 to 6 p.m. for that tornado threat here off to the northwest of the Quad Cities, and then 6 to 9 for that line of storms for all of us that's going to continue to move from west to east. So this could potentially be a pretty high impact event, which is why we're giving you that first alert here as we head into Tuesday. So as we look at Exact Track, this is the latest model run coming in. And again, it kind of paints onto the idea or latches onto the idea that we could see a couple of storms here as we head into the afternoon and evening with that main threat of any severe weather off to our north and our east. Could be a couple more storms that do develop here as we get the low-level jet. Those are some mid-level winds that are pretty strong that do lead to the development of some showers and thunderstorms. Once that gets going, a couple of those could develop, maybe some small hail, some gusty wind out of these, but most of those should stay below severe limits. And then as we head into the day on Tuesday, we'll talk the wee hours of the morning prior to dawn. We could see a few more showers and thunderstorms develop. Some of these might be elevated enough to where they could produce some small hail, but overall the severe threat is low. So this is what the radar could look like Tuesday morning. If it looks like this is going to be almost a worst case scenario, because it means that we don't really have any convection, any debris that's going to take down our risk of high-end severe weather here tomorrow. But this particular model does not show widespread rain. In fact, most of our models that we look at, our guidance, does not show us any threat of widespread rain in the morning. So this is going to allow our atmosphere time to really juice things up, add fuel to the fire here as we head into the afternoon and evening. So here we are at 3 o'clock. We've got strong southerly winds in here. That's pumping in not only the warm air, but also the very moist air. Dew points will be in the mid to upper 60s. It's going to be very muggy out there, almost feeling like summer tomorrow. So any of these storms that develop here off to the west do have the potential to quickly become severe, and these are the ones that could produce a couple of those stronger tornadoes that we were talking about. And these are also where we could see some large hail up to the size of quarters to maybe golf ball size, as they're going to be feeding in on all of this moisture and instability that's in place. We also have a lot of what we call wind shear in the atmosphere, so that's where we get the different wind speeds at different heights, also different directions of the winds leading to that rotation. So that's going to be our biggest concern for any of those larger tornadoes here heading into the afternoon and evening hours. And then notice that line will track off to the north and east here as we head throughout the afternoon. And then behind that, you saw that we have that quick development of a line of storms out in central Iowa. Those will race east across the state here as we head into the evening hours. So here we are at 7 p.m. That line of storms could be approaching the Mississippi River, and this is where we could have 60 to 80 mile per hour winds. And then what we're concerned about at this point in time is along this line, we're going to have some inflow with it that could lead to a few spin-up tornadoes because we're going to have all of those ingredients there. So even though these won't be your typical supercell thunderstorms, the threat of tornadoes is still going to exist. But our biggest concern with this line of storms certainly going to be the damaging wind gust. There could be a little bit of hail associated with this as well. But notice between 7 and 9 p.m., those storms will race to the east, and then by 10 o'clock, our severe weather risk is going to wind down for sure, and we'll be left with quiet weather here as we head into the overnight hours. And then by the time you wake up Wednesday morning, we are going to see some sunshine. So because of the progression of the storms, the fast movement of them, you're not going to have a lot of time to react to a warning that gets issued. So you want to have a plan of action for your family in place if you do get caught under a warning. And also with the fast movements, we're not really expecting much in the way of any flash flooding concern, but there certainly could be some heavy rain with that as well. So I want to break down each severe weather risk here heading into Tuesday. So what we're looking at right now is the tornado probability. So this gives us a probability of a tornado within 25 miles of any given location. So notice that dark purple shading on, I guess I would call it a plum color. That's where we have I should say a 10% risk of a tornado. But those dashed lines you see, that's what we call hatch marks. That indicates significant severe weather possible. So there is a possibility for a couple of stronger tornadoes out of this EF2 or greater. So that's obviously a concern that we really need to watch here as we head into tomorrow afternoon, especially if we do get any storms going. There are indications of storms developing in the afternoon. We just need to pin down the placement of it. So that's why you need to keep up to date hour by hour here as we head through the day on Tuesday. As far as our damaging wind threat, that is the most primary concern that we have here tomorrow. Notice that dark shading here that you see, that almost black shading, dark brown, black shading. That's where we have a 45% risk of significant damaging wind gusts greater than 70 miles per hour. That's also what those hatch marks means as well, that moving dashing line. That's where we do have that potential for significant wind damage, and that encompasses the entire TV6 viewing area. So we are talking straight line winds, and again, you're not going to have much time to react if a warning gets issued for your area. So the environment is going to be prime for that potential of damaging wind gusts here as we head into tomorrow evening especially. And then as I mentioned, we do have a hail risk as well, but that hail risk is looking a little bit lower. The dark blue shading does give us about a 30% risk of large hail. I think the highest risk of hail will be tied to the afternoon hours, but as we head into the evening, while we still could see some hail, it's going to be that damaging wind and embedded tornado risk as well. So we have a lot to track here as we go through the afternoon and evening hours on your day Tuesday. So if you are just tuning in right now and missed the brunt of this, we've got all of this information posted on our website, KWQC.com. So we'll take you to the homepage here, and it's right at the top of the screen. We've got the first alert day here, so you can click on that. And then once this live stream is over, we're going to have a video update, but we also break down those details here down a little bit farther on the list. So we indicate the first alert day. We show you the risks for today, as well as we head into tomorrow. And notice, again, we have that level 4 out of 5 risk of severe weather here tomorrow. So we go into a bit more detail on there as well. And then, of course, this first alert weather team is going to continue to keep you up to date on that potential of severe weather here tomorrow. Again, we do have that level 4 out of 5 risk for most of the TV6 viewing area. So if you have not already, be sure to download the free QC weather app to your smartphone or tablet. You can customize it to give you, if you just want to know alerts of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes, you can set it for that. If you want special weather statements, such as, gusty winds on a non-severe weather day, you can get that as well. That's on our free QC weather app. And of course, get the latest weather updates any time of day on the website, KWQC.com. And of course, you can tune into our evening newscast 4, 5, 6, and then later tonight at 10, Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland will have the latest first alert updates, including the timing of those storms here on Tuesday. Have a great evening and stay safe.